related to the refresher assignment of CMPE 273, in which we are supposed to implement JavaScript and HTML5 and also deploy the application in Docker and AWS. I couldn't show the AWS console because I'm using an M1 Mac and I'm having issues with the deployment. So what I did was I deployed it on my friend's Windows laptop, and I'll make sure I'll attach the screenshots in the report. So let's get started with the application. It's deployed on this one. Okay, let me clear the session data first. Okay, now nothing is there in the session. It has new as a new application. Now the aim of the application is like the user can give information about his whereabouts and whether he's safe or not in the pandemic. It's like a survey, and the entry point is like this is the sole entry point, and all the other functions below are just for the concept demonstration. So first I'll start and I'll give my name. Initially session and local storage is empty. So now the name goes into the session storage and I fetch it when I say this message: hi, whatever the name you give, please mark yourself safe if you're not in the COVID affected area. So you can just go ahead and say yes and fill out all the details. And I'm using geolocation to get the current location, and because the browser is not able to get the location, what I did was I passed default parameters to the function just so that I can demonstrate it well. Or previously it was it used to just say error occurred, please try again, something like that. So I'll just say enter. Now this data goes into the local storage, as you can see here. Now I'll say reset just to go back to the same page. And this get user data, what this function does is it hits the Axios URL with some random URL to get the user data, and it also tries to fetch data from the local storage and show that data as well. So it will append both of those. So now if I say this, okay, you can see a call going to Axios user. Here I have 10 records, and the 11th record is what I entered just now. I can delete the record and show you that it only fetches 10 records right now. So the total is 10. Right, let me go and put it back. Okay, now I have data and array ops. This array ops is used for array demonstration. So now you can see 11 records are there. So, and the next functionality is get user ID, get user details with user ID with promise implementation. And this get user data implementation was with async await. Okay, now this is regex check. So if I give any incorrect data such as text where number is expected, I'll just say W. You can see in the logs that it first tests for the regex and it is false, so that's why nothing is coming. So I can just say number 5 maybe, and I get data of Chelsea. And once this promise is executed successfully, I wrote a callback function. So this demonstrates both promise as well as callback. In the logs you can see the regex test is true, so promise starts, user data the request is made, promise is resolving, implementation is done, and the callback starts, and the actual function is executed. And that execution, what it does is the functionality is to replace whatever the response comes in this div. And bind, I am not able to demonstrate because the location data is not proper in this deployment, in the AWS. So I'll go ahead with demonstrate of call and apply. I wrote a function where this is just like passing arguments in a different way. So you can see I got same output when I used call and apply. And object assign, we can assign data from different object, like different sources to one target. So what I did was I tried to change the latitude property of the local storage data. So now it is some latitude longitude. I just changed it to replace through object assign. So before it was this one and after it was this one. So we can see by refreshing the data here. Alright, and we can also check whether user exists or not. This demonstrates includes functionality. So if I say watch, yes, and if I add something to it, says no. And inheritance, I've created two classes and I've just demonstrated inheritance, and you can check it in the logs. And also for array operations, I take data from local storage and I do different operations on it, like checking the type of object, destructuring, slice, splice, spread operator, rest operator, and for the rest I passed extra parameters, and those extra parameters are displayed here. And for the closure I used a counter for demonstration. That's it. Thanks.